Rakdos has returned, and today I'm going to be bringing you a guide with how to store and organize all of your items in Grim Dawn. If you're anything like me, you played a couple hundred hours of the game and began to realize that all of your stash tabs were overflowing with rare or even legendary items. Most of the items in the game are specifically tailored to a very particular build or class combination. This incentivizes hanging on to certain items for future builds. Unfortunately, each character is only limited to a certain amount of inventory space and stash tabs. Although the game has improved its storage and the stash tab management over time with a search feature and increased storage space, you will still run out of space relatively quickly. Before we begin, I will have to mention that the Forgotten Gods expansion will be necessary for the method I'm about to show you. The Crucible DLC is helpful but not absolutely necessary for this method. Now, creating alternate characters to store your gear that you're not using is not a revolutionary concept. However, there is a way to maximize the efficiency and the storage value that you get from each character that you're doing this with, thereby reducing the amount of alternate characters you need to make for storage. As you can see, the most recent character I had to create has the sole purpose of holding all of my full or partially complete legendary sets. My first storage character was created thinking that it could hold all of the legendary items I got in the game, but after passing the 600 hour mark, even one character was too little storage for all of the legendary items I had. So to demonstrate this process fully, we will be creating a new character. It is very helpful to name the character something relevant to the items you're trying to store. In this case, we are trying to store all of our rare set pieces. Now that we have the character created, we need to unlock all of its storage space and allow it to have access to our bank. This is where the Crucible downloadable content comes in handy. Starting in the Crucible at level 1 will give you access to your character's stash and shared stash immediately. The first step to this process is using a Savior's Merit item. This is an item that is only available in the Forgotten Gods expansion. This is why the expansion is necessary for this method. We will put the item in our inventory, and then exit, and then begin the main campaign on single player. When you spawn in, the Savior's Merit will be in your inventory still. Using it will unlock all of the character's bag slots that they would have had to get through the quests in the main campaign. This is step 1 to creating your storage character. Now that you have used the merit, you will be able to travel to all of the rifts in the game. The most notable one will be the Conclave of the Three. Once here, you will access your stash and retrieve as many iron bars as you will need to fully unlock the character's stash tabs. You can purchase the iron bars or turn them in to Garrus, the Keeper of Iron, located here in the Forgotten Gods expansion. Once you have transferred the money, unlock all of the storage for the character. You will find the Savior's Merit item from Asgra, the Cult Supplier, in the Forgotten Gods expansion.
I'll give you a good price on what I've got left.
They are one of the most expensive items in the game to purchase, so be sure to vendor any items you don't need to rack up your iron bits. Now that we have all of the storage space we could ask for on a single character, it's time to organize our items. Start by logging in to any character that you wish to transfer items from. I find the Crucible is incredibly useful for this purpose, as all of the vendors and the player storage NPC are very close. Search each of your characters for the types of items you're looking to store. If you happen to be looking for set items in particular, typing in the keyword set into the search box will highlight all set items. Whew! Alright. Now that every single rare set piece that I own on all of my characters has been consolidated to this one character, if I'm ever looking for a rare set, I can just go to this character, head over to my stash and type in the set name, and I can easily see where each piece is. Something you'll notice immediately is I have several duplicates. Items in this game have very large roll ranges, meaning that their stats can roll anywhere between a high value and a very low value. Having these duplicates is incredibly useful for finding the best rolled piece of gear. If time permits, I would go through each of these pieces, see which one is rolled the best, and then sell or transmute the rest so that I can create the full set. Just as an example, since I see these Flamekeeper's girdles immediately, when I type in flame, so it appears for the Flamekeeper set, I only have the weapon and the belt, several regular versions and mythic versions. I will keep one of the regular version and one of the mythic. So first, I separate them. These are the regular versions, and these are the mythic. The one on the left has much less fire damage, but has 2% more attack speed, which is a very valuable stat for auto-attacking builds. The one on the right has more fire damage and more fire conversion, slightly less attack speed, and less cooldown speed. It will be up to you which version is better. Some are clearly superior, some are very close, like these two, and you will need to make a judgment call on what will benefit the build the most. Because these two are rather close, I'm going to keep this Flamekeeper's Repeater. And for the belts, this Flamekeeper's Girdle has the most life and the second most offensive ability, the two most valuable stats for me. This is the one I will keep. Going through and completing this process for each of the sets will allow you to have the best rolled set possible based on the ones that you've found so far in the game. Because Grim Dawn is such a generous game with item drops, even with this method, you will still need to be very reserved with what you keep and pick up. To help make this process a little easier and less stressful, I've created a handy chart for you to reference. This is the order in which I prioritize items and how I keep them. Feel free to modify this according to your own playstyle. First and foremost, prioritize keeping legendary set pieces. Set pieces are among the most powerful items in the game, and several of them are build enabling, meaning that they are necessary for certain builds to even function. These I would absolutely recommend keeping unless you have the full set already. Second on my priority list is legendaries that are non-set pieces. For similar reasons, these legendaries can be build enabling, and some are quite rare. Third on my priority list is rare set pieces. These sets are much less powerful than the legendary counterparts, but can still offer many unique bonuses and allow very unique playstyles. These rare sets have been buffed several times over the years, and many of them are quite comparable to their legendary counterparts. Fourth on my priority list are monster infrequents that have incredible affixes and rolls. This one will take a lot more practice to learn what is good and what is worth keeping, and this only applies to infrequents. Monster-specific greens. Regular green items such as these that are not infrequents still have a chance to roll very well, but because they are so numerous in the game, it is a huge headache to keep track of them and to assess each one for its powers. If you're feeling overwhelmed, as a general rule, sell all of these and give all of the infrequent items a quick look to see if it has any particular powers or synergies. In this fourth category, be very choosy. If you're keeping an item, make sure that it fits a build perfectly. And coming in dead last on my list of items to keep would be rare non-set items. Although these items are decently powerful, most of them are strictly for leveling and will not serve you well late in the game. Because leveling in Grim Dawn is quite easy and fast, you will quickly replace these items with even greens that are much more powerful only a few levels down the road. These are rarely worth hoarding unless you find one that you are particularly fond of. I sincerely appreciate you checking out my storage and item organization guide. I realize that there are several tools out there for the game that allow you to edit your items, import items, change your character stats, alter your character. But for me, every time I've messed with those, it's kind of ruined the game for me, and I much prefer a method like this. If you did like the video, please consider subscribing. It's a little tough to build up a viewer base just starting off from scratch. Every little like, comment, and subscribe helps me out tremendously. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and as always, peace, peace.